So today I thought I'd do a video kind of like a day in the life kind of in the rabbit stuff, like an update video, and then I have some projects to do. They're like little things that won't have enough footage for their own video, so I figured I'd do a video all about everything on this video. So this is a day in the life rabbit colony project update video mix. The first thing I have to do in this colony is do the daily chores. So the food, the water, check the babies, and then I want to make sure the babies who are like just 2 weeks old, who just came out of the nest box because they just came out last night, I want to make sure they're okay, make sure all their eyes are open. And then I want to kind of start the process of weaning some of the older rabbits as well. So you can see over here, we have a pile of 2-week-old babies. Their eyes just opened, and then yesterday morning, one of them crawled out of the nest, but it could have just been an accident, so I put them back in. And then this evening, when I was checking on them, 2 of them crawled out. So they were old enough to come out. And the danger, though, is if you leave them in when some are coming out, is that the ones who are out will not be able to stay warm or not get fed. So when some start coming out, you have to have them all out so that they all are in the same place so they can all get fed and all stay warm. So I've got myself a cardboard thing, which we don't really need. So I think this is from like a paper towel roll. So I'm just gonna put it there because we give our rabbits sticks and blocks and things to chew. It helps them not chew the wood. There's a lot of treated wood here, so if we give them natural things to chew, it kind of helps distract them from the non-natural wood, and it just keeps them busy and not bored, because bored rabbits are very destructive. They're more likely to pick fights and mess up their food, so rabbits that have something to do, and obviously they really enjoy this thing. I don't know if it's because it's new or if it smells good, but oh my, everyone's liking it. So first I want to make sure all these little babies who just came out of the nest box, it was really cold tonight. It's usually not super cold around here, but it got freezing tonight. It rained, and then the temperature dropped, so there's ice everywhere. So I want to make sure they're all warm. They're all warm. Hello. Make sure everyone's warm. Yep, they're all warm. They're waking up, moving around. So that's really good. I do have some bad news though. So we started out with 3 litters who are now like 4 weeks old. And then we have 2 litters who are 2 weeks old. So out of the 3 litters, we lost 2 babies, most likely from lack of feeding. They died, and they were really, really skinny. When I did a necropsy on them, they didn't have any sicknesses in them. They didn't have any coccidiosis or anything. So the most probable likely cause of death is that they didn't get enough feed, didn't get enough milk, or when they were transitioning, when they were 3 weeks old, they passed away. So either that, or when they were transitioning to solid food, then that messed up their system. So either one of those 2. And we also sadly had 2 little babies die. Lola had 5, and then Ivy had 5. One was she actually had 6, but I found one who had died at birth, buried in the nesting material 2 weeks ago. But 2 on Christmas morning had come out of the nest box, and Christmas was a super, super cold day this year. So it was in the single digits, and they had frozen. Sadly, we tried to warm one up. One of them had his head stuck in the chicken wire. I don't know how he managed that, as it never happened before, but his head stuck in the chicken wire, and he was literally frozen, solid, you couldn't move his arms. The other one was just cold, and we tried to warm him up, but it didn't work. So we are down to 8 little babies, and I believe 18 big babies. Yeah. Because then 15 minus 2 plus 5, yeah. Alright, now that we've made sure all these little babies are alive, we have to turn to the food table. There is food spilled, hay spilled, poop everywhere, water needs to be refilled, hay needs to be addressed, the food needs to be refilled, so let's get to work on that. So their hay looks full. I'm just gonna scoot some more to the places where they can eat, because if it gets all stuck in the middle, then there's hay in there, but they can't eat any of it. So there we go. Hay looks pretty good. Let's see about food. Food looks almost empty, but rabbits are still eating. So let me address the water first, because people are still eating, and then when people are done eating, we will do that. So the water. Water looks, it looks pretty clean, but really empty. So let me grab the new water. I don't think I have to wash it out because it looks pretty clean, but I'll have to refill it for sure. Alright, so I know it's jiggly and kind of grainy on the camera. I would set you down on the tripod, except for rabbits are everywhere. This is my tripod stand. The bucket I'd set the tripod on, and there's a rabbit on it. And I already have some of the foam chewed off of the tripod because of the rabbits. So when I'm in the colony, I really can't set the camera down. So there's the water. Alright, so we are now out of the colony. And I have this 5-gallon bucket of feed that I use to just refill their feed. I do mix my own whole grain feed, and then I'll link a video to that if I can up in this little corner. But I just have a 5-gallon bucket of feed that I refill the rabbits' feed with. I would set you guys there so you could like see what I'm doing right there, but I can't because there are rabbits everywhere trying to eat it. So let's see how well I can do this one-handed. No, alright, I'm going to turn you off. Yeah, I can't do that. Alright, I'm going to turn you off and come back when I'm done. Alright, so I finished feeding the rabbits, and now they're all eating the fresh food. There was still food in there, but there wasn't a lot. But the babies, the oldest babies, the 4-week-old babies, are spilling a ton of food. They like walk, they'll be like babies sitting in the feeder all the way around, then they'll like jump out or like dig. So they have been wasting a lot of feed, and that is another reason why I want to wean them, at least some of them today, and move them so that they can't waste as much feed, because this feed is expensive and it's like high quality, and I want them to eat it and not just poop on it. And then every day this table gets a ton of poop and hay and stuff all like on it. So every day I take a brush, or twice a day actually, I take a brush and I just brush it all of it off. And I'm not going to show that because it's kind of boring and it'll be super blurry. So yeah, I'm going to do that and then I'll come back. Then we also have, I like to add, this is shredded like lawn clippings that we dried to be like hay, but it's kind of super fine and kind of dusty, and it won't stay in the hay feeder. If you put it in the hay feeder, it just dusts everywhere and makes a huge mess, and then no one eats it. So I've decided, and it's been working so far, to just put it on the ground. That way it acts as like the little babies can eat it, because sometimes the really little ones can't figure out the ramp and stuff until they're older. And then so I put it on the ground, and then everyone can eat it. They can dig in it. It acts as like a food to eat, and then a bedding as well. Alright, so I've been dumping it different places. Sometimes it's over here, over there, different like areas. And today, I don't want to dump it here because I'm gonna have to check Henwin's litter after this. I don't really want to dump it over here because I did that a few days ago. I don't want to dump it near the entrance. Maybe I'll do, I don't want to dump it on the babies. Maybe I'll do like right here. Alright. There we go. Ha! And that just so happens to take everyone away from the food, and now I can sleep the food. Look at all this grain that has spilled and is wasted. Oh well. That's better. And then I always like to try and readjust the little step stool so little babies, can hop up and then hop up to the feeder real easy. So all these babies are alive and they're warm. Let's see. Should we count them? Alright, let's count them. There should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I saw the 8th one running around. So we have 8. They are old enough to where their eyes shouldn't be closing still. If they did have any nest box eye. Oh, hello. You're the 8th one. Hello. If they did have any nest box eye, it should be cured by then or like get really bad. So all of them have really good open eyes. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, and now it's time to check on the other litter, which is Henwin's litter. Her second one. She has a litter who's running around and one who was born like a day or 2 ago. So, but she's done such a good job of burying the entrance to her burrow. And the wild rabbits will do that, and in colonies, rabbits can do that too. In cages, it's really hard for them, but in colonies, they have enough bedding. They can bury the entrances, but now that means I can't get in, and This nest box is such where I can't drag it out, or I like drag it over the babies and kill them, kind of, or at least hurt them a lot. So I have to reach my hand in there and grab them, all 9 of them. We have our bucket thingy. Take some bedding. Here we go. Oh, this goes back far. Can they breathe in there? They probably can, but still. Oh, wow. Okay, this is not good. Oh, yep, it drops down after this. Okay. I was scared for a minute there. I was like, did she bury them? They're so little. 1. All right, so we have our 9 little babies. I'm going to do health checks on them, make sure they look kind of fed. They don't need to look super fed. They just need to be a little bit fed. So they felt super warm in there. They didn't have, I think their fur was buried by bedding, but they're doing a really good job, and they all are alive, so that's good. So I will see you when I'm done with doing that. All right, so I finished checking on the babies. I'm going to cover up the entrance to her nest again, so that she feels like it's all safe. There we go. Then empty this out and put this away. So now that we have done daily chores and everyone has their yummy food and checked all the babies and they're all good, I have to decide who I should wean, when I should wean, and all that stuff. So we have 3 litters of babies who are 4 weeks old. They were born a few days apart. So technically, they're all old enough to wean. I usually like to wait to wean rabbits until their mamas give birth again, so that I know for sure the mamas have weaned them themselves, because you can wean them yourself by taking them away, but if the mama's already weaned them because she has another litter coming, then that just saves you worry and hassle, because you don't have to worry, oh no, they're gonna die because I'm weaning them, and because if mom does it, then it's just, I don't know, more natural, and I like that way better. So Henwin has had a litter. Rinna and Sayla, the other 2 mamas, haven't had babies again yet, and I think Sayla is due any day, but Rinna, I think, is due in a couple weeks. She took longer to get rebred than the others, so if I wait till everyone has babies again, these babies will be like 6 or 7 weeks old, which is too old. In this colony, we only have room for babies until their weaning age, like the youngest possible weaning age. So if you have 50 square feet per breeder, then you can keep each breeder rabbit and all their babies in there all the time until they're old enough to be butchered. But if you have, like we have, only 10 square feet per breeder, that means you can have them, however many breeders you have, and all their babies until they're 5 weeks old-ish. So we need to make sure we wean by 5 weeks. And these babies are... Henwin had to bury her whole entrance of her burrow because the babies were gonna snuggle with her babies, and we've had to force feed Lolo's babies on Lolo because the older babies would snuggle with them, and then they couldn't get fed because Lolo would try to feed them, and the older babies would only get the food, and then they're messing up the food, and they're just kind of underfoot everywhere, and they're crowding everything, and the rabbits are kind of not bugged by them, but they kind of are bugged by them. And then we have more babies who are just getting old enough. So there's a lot of crazy babies in here. They're kind of at that past the cute phase. Well, they're still super cute, but they're past the nice little adorable baby acting phase. And now they're kind of being little troublemakers. So I think it'd be good to at least start the weaning process. So I don't want to take them all away all at once, because that would just be too sudden for everyone involved. It could cause stress on the rat, sudden changes cause stress and problems on rabbits. So just the fact of the babies missing all at once could cause problems for the mamas. If they are still nursing them, that could cause mastitis. It could cause whatever. So I know for sure Henwin has weaned her older kits because she should be feeding her younger ones, but the older ones still could be getting drinks from her, and then she might not have enough feed or milk to nurse her other babies. So I don't know, there's all these could be factors. It could be this, could be that, could be problems, could be not problems. that I'm not for sure on, but I'd like to make sure that that all the could be problems are for sure not problems, instead of it might be an issue, it might not be. I prefer it to just be, I'm for sure that this isn't an issue because they are weaned. So they are old enough to be weaned. I don't want to do it all at once, so I'm going to start, I think, today with weaning some of them. But now the question becomes, how do I, some of them, how much is that? Is it 1 a day? Is it 2 every other day? Do I do half? Do I do thirds? How do I do oldest to youngest? Can I tell oldest to youngest because they're all kind of the same color? How do I go about this? So, and then I do have to keep the biggest doe, who's a black otter. I'm going to keep her as a breeder to replace Adelaide because she passed away. So there's all these things I have to think through and decide. All right, so we have like 4 or 5 steels who are 4 weeks old. So, and I know pretty sure that all of those babies are henwins. So I could do by color. I could do steels, then otters, then black ones, kind of like in thirds, or I could just do it by thirds. I could do I could just pick 2 random ones. I don't know. Oh, and also, I want to tell genders as I'm checking the babies over, do health checks on them, and tell their gender, and then put a Sharpie on their ear. I want to have one color for girls, one color for boys. Maybe I'll do red for girls and blue for boys in their ear, so I can just at a glance, oh, this is a girl, this is a boy, because it's kind of hard to flip them over every time you want to tell who's ready and who's not. So, let me think. All right, I've decided that this is becoming, at first I was like, oh yeah, we're going to wean them, but then we have to set up the food and water stations in the weaning area. We have to check on them and do gender checks and all that stuff. So this is becoming a bigger project than I was originally thinking. So I haven't finished my animal chores yet. I was like, yeah, I can take like 5 minutes. Let me do it real quick. But I think I'm going to finish my other animal chores and then do this. So I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back from doing all the animal chores, and I've been thinking about things, and I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I don't remember if there's 5 or 6 or 4, I think there's at least 5, steel rabbits, and I'm going to put them in this pen. We used to have this for like a really small colony, but then we built the big colony, so we're going to put them in here. It's already baby bunny proof. There's already bedding in it. We had rabbits in here, I think, like this spring. So we're going to just use that same bedding. I need to put a food dish, like a chicken food, in here. I need to get a water bowl and a hidey house and some hay. And then we will take each steel baby in one at a time and do a health check on it, check their ears, check for mites, check for diarrhea, any things or wounds. And then I have 2 markers, Sharpies. One is red, which is kind of like pink, and then blue, so girls is red and boys is blue. And then I'm going to mark the inside of their ear with a Sharpie. It's not going to stay for more than a week, but I'm going to redo it after a week, so it's just easier for me to tell. And then that'll be all for today. Then in a few days I'll do the other ones, some other babies, and then a few days later do some other babies, so that it's really gradual. And eventually we're going to have all of the steels, all of the blacks, and all but one of the otters in the weaning pen. And then we will have the otter doe I'm keeping and our chestnut buck that we have a friend who reserved him as a breeding buck for her. We're going to leave him in here. We're going to be selling the kits in the weaning pens, and so it'll just be the ones that we're selling in there, so that they don't see them in the pictures and they're like, oh, I want that one. It's like, actually you can't have that one, so it'll just be less confusing that way. And so yeah, so I have a chicken food that we're not using right now. I'm going to hang that from like a kind of like we have this one. It's like there's a stick and then it hangs down. I'm gonna do it. I want the food to be kind of by the door, and then I'm gonna have like a hidey house over here, and then they'll be able to do little zoomies. It's gonna be so cute. So I'm gonna hang like a piece of wood there, and then have it like hanging with a little food. And then I'm thinking the water, maybe we should have the water over here, because the hay rack is there. And if we had the water right there, the hay would get in it. So we're gonna have the food hanging, maybe, actually it'd be harder to, maybe we could hang it from this back here. We can hang it from this back to here, the piece of wood. Because then if we hang it from there to there, this is the door. Let's see. But then I'd have to like duck under it whenever I wanted to go in, which would be annoying. We could do we could just set it like through here and there, and like have it be along there, and then have it be back there, and then we'd take this off, we'd have the hay, and then the water would be like over there, and then a hidey house. I like that idea. All right, let's do that. So as hidey houses in this big colony, we have 2. This used to be like a cat carrier, like a dog carrier, like you put them together and like a big box shape, but I just took them apart. But Ivy used this one as her nest box, and the babies kept crawling out, and it was really stressful and hard. So I don't like them using this as nest boxes, so I can't have them in here as hidey houses because they'll use them as nest boxes. So I'm going to take both of them out and put them in the babies. Eventually we're going to have like the pet quality babies over here, and then the brood quality babies for sale over there. I'm thinking, or maybe if there's more pets, there'll be, whatever one's more will be in the bigger one, whoever one's less will be in the smaller one. Hopefully there are less pet quality and more brood quality. But I'm going to have eventually one hidey house for each pen, but for now I think we're going to have both hidey houses in this pen, so that no more babies will be born in this bad nest boxes, and then the babies will have a hidey house to get away from the wind, and if it's cold they can all snuggle up in there. So when we've had rabbits in here in the past, in a colony, we had our bowls up on here before we had the table in the big colony. So I'm thinking we'll have the food here, and then we don't want the bowl on the floor, or then it'll be super easy to just get dust and wood chips in it. So if we have it on here, the babies can jump up and drink water, and then jump down, and then they'll have a hidey house here. They'll still have a little runway, and then a hidey house over there. Yeah, I think I like that. It looks good. I might change it, but for now, I'm happy with it. So sorry that my battery ran out. So I finished the food. I hung it, as you saw the pole thing, and then I attached some, let me see if I can get closer. So I tied it up here with some hay string, goes all the way down to this little clasp thing, so then I can just lift the actual bucket part, or not bucket, feeder part off if I need to. It looks like there has been some spilled already. I finished this like late morning, and it is now evening. It's dark outside. I also filled up their hay, and I also added the water on top of the hidey house. It looks like it's kind of splashed some places, and it's nice and dirty. I don't know if people were jumping and swimming in it or what, but it's not super dirty though, which is good. And then the last thing I did is, this used to be over here, but I moved it over here because over here is just all solid wall. Over here we have the fencing connecting, and the chicken wire protection. Pardon this isn't necessary, it's just kind of there. Goes only up to here. And so if we had this, which goes up to here, up there, then they can kind of squeeze out through here. I don't think they should be able to squeeze out through here because it is protected on the other side. I just want to make double sure no one can, like, if they squeeze through here and then like around and got stuck in, that'd be bad. So now they can't really squeeze in through there unless they really, really try, and I don't think they will do that. And then I put 4 steels, the 4 steels we had in. Before I did that, I checked them for mites. They didn't have any poopy bottoms. They looked good. I checked them for any problems they had. And then I marked their ears, both their ears, like way down in there and way on the top, just to make sure some stays on, with Sharpie. Red for the girls, blue for the boys. There are 3 girls and 1 boy. So, and then the boy is definitely a breeder quality. He is huge and growing very well, very healthy. There is 2 does. They could be either. I mean, they're not like amazingly awesome, but like they're not bad either. And then there's 1 baby who is We nicknamed it Little Guy before we knew it was a girl, because it's just kind of runty, kind of small, not very full, smaller than everyone else. So that will be a pet quality rabbit. It's not sick, it's not bad in any way. It's just not a very fast grower, and we don't really want that as when you're picking breeding stock for meat rabbits. But as a pet, like, it doesn't matter the size. And so these 4-week-old babies who have never jumped out of anything or climbed anything before, in their huge, awesome colony that has chicken wire only going to 3 feet up, climbed the chicken wire that was 3 feet up almost like completely, and then they could squeeze through the 2x4 wire and get out. So I don't know. So we need to be able to, I don't want to put more chicken wire up because they could just climb that too. They didn't get up to the top, but they got pretty close. So let me see. All right, so at the top, we have a piece of wood going from here to here. What if, like right here where the wire ends, we put a piece of wood, like a thicker piece of wood from here to into there. And so they couldn't climb up and over. They have to climb up and then like come out and over it, which would be really hard for them. Ooh, but then will they just be able to sneak through here? Ooh, this is worrying. Why? Why would they do that? They've never had to do that before. All right, so we have this stick up here was super long, so I cut it in half. I used 1/2 for this. We have the other half. Let's see if we could like put that through and then make sure not to catch the food. Put that through like that. But that doesn't work because I wonder if we could like, it's such a big gap though. We could like tie it. If we flip, no, we can't flip. If we attach this to here, no, that won't work. We could just get over anyway. If we attach, let's start by attaching this and like this and this to here, so you don't have a gap they can just crawl through, and then we'll address anything further. Okay, zip ties are my very best friends right now. So I zip tied a piece of wood under this one. Let's see, zip tied it to here. And then I set this board on top. It's kind of very sturdy. So now they're climbing up, up. Oh, there's like a tiny lip, and then there's a lip here. And hopefully they're so high up and they're like vertical, and rabbits aren't really meant to climb like that, that they will be okay. This is, I guess, another reason why it's good to start with only some rabbits, because if you have a flaw in your rabbit proofing and you have only some of your babies in there and they all escape and you can't find them, then you don't lose your entire batch of babies, you only lose some. So hopefully this will work. Nothing worked from this morning until now, so hopefully with this added protection, everything will be great. And if it's not, we'll only lose some bunnies. Hopefully they'll be able to you'll stick by the colony because like they want to get back to their family. So I hope everything will be good. I think everything will be good. It could always not be, but I'm optimistic. And that about wraps it up for my day in the life update, how to, weaning, checking babies, awesome rabbit colony video. We did all the things on my list I planned for, and we did something I didn't plan for, which is baby proof stuff. So yeah, this about wraps it up. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like the video if you did like it, and subscribe for more videos like this, and comment below with any questions or comments you may have. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!